Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're at one of our favorite places of the year, the Maker Camp in Catskill Mountain. It's where a bunch of like-minded folks, all makers, all craftsmen and women, just teaching all the different aspects of what they do. What you got here? What do you do, Chris?
Basically, I build barbecue smokers. I build open fire grills, trailers, and today we're going to be doing a plate style offset bent up by SendCutSend, all out of 1/4 inch plate.
Heck yeah, we're going to get in there and slap this thing together.
Sounds good.
Welcome to our humble little home for the weekend. We're in the SendCutSend fabrication tent where all of the metal shaping and metal forming happens. So we see we got a lot of this stuff here, Chris. So what is it exactly? What can you say about it?
This is a 24 by, I believe, 36 offset smoker. It's going to have a separate firebox with a cook chamber. It's going to be an octagonal smoker, octagonal firebox, and laser cut grates too.
And if it wasn't for SendCutSend with all the laser cut parts and dims, it would definitely not be done in a weekend.
No, not at all.
Definitely not done in a weekend. But we think we can get it done. We're going to start by tacking things up, and while we're even here, we're going to be giving away a lot of stuff. We got a lot of merch. We got a lot of Lincoln Electric hats, beanies, shirts. We've got Walter Surface hoods that we're going to be giving away. Some of those Spy welding helmets and a Lincoln Sprinter 180. Everyone at camp, all they have to do is put their name in a hat. And that's it. We'll be picking some winners later on. The only trick to this, they're going to be teaching a lot of MIG welding. The only thing that we're going to do different is we're going to stick weld the whole thing. Since he's going to go ahead and get everything fixed up, I'm going to run out to our Lincoln Ranger 330 and get it cranked up so we can get some rods to tack with. We're borrowing this Lincoln Ranger 330 MPX from Mr. DeResta. It's a pretty quiet machine, which is going to be nice with all the spectators, being able to talk to them and everything. Just set our amperage. We're going to probably be working with some 6010s, so we're going to get some arc force with a 1/8 6010. 95 ought to be good for tacking. We'll get it tacked up. So we've got a smorgasbord of electrodes over here. We got our Fleetwood 5P 6010s. And we've got our Excalibur 7018s. We've got some 1/8 of both. Likely we're gonna put 2 passes on this thing, tack it with 6010, root pass 6010. Any strange gaps, it's gonna be the rod to use. Once we get to those other fillet welds, then we'll switch over to those 7018s and fill them up. We got DC positive polarity, 1/8 6010s. We got it all ready? I got to be careful because we got a little bit of an open root and I don't want to catch those little tabs out there, but I think we're going to make a full pin smoker. Not so much right there, so that's good. I'm put one more tacky. All right, that ought to hold.
So this is the collector end. I always like to put the drain towards the firebox because when you're running an offset, you always want to have the cook chamber tilted so that way the exhaust is slightly going uphill, and then there's enough of a lip in between the firebox and the cook chamber, that way you don't have to worry about a grease fire as long as you actually clean your cooker out like you're supposed to.
That's why I brought you.
Works for me.
If you look right in here and you can see this gap, there is not one, and that's what we're looking for all the way up. Now we're just going to reach up right by Chris's fingers. Just a couple like 3/4 inch tacks, a little whip pause action, you know. Lining up this outside corner with the outside corners, making sure this sits on itself nice and easy. This is lined up. Ah! Ready?
Yep.
As Chris said, it is a barbecue pit, not a rocket ship. One more?
Yeah, one more.
And then we just got to clamp this one piece right here, and that ought to push this to where these corners will line up. Put a little bit of pressure. We don't even need a clamp. The thumb will do so. Here, gotta use your thumb. First one you needed a hand clamp, next one we need a man clamp.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's better in here. So we're putting in the, what is this piece hanging off?
So this is the end cap for the firebox in the cook's chamber. So the firebox is going to hang off of here, and then it end caps off the end of the cook chamber too.
Oh yeah, that's why that little gap was in there.
Yep.
So the smoke could go through. That makes 2 pennies. All right, we're basically just shimming everything up.
And
this plate is nice enough to sit right on that plate. So we just need to make sure the back sides all have that same 1/4 inch underneath it. It's all been eyeballing it, really.
Yeah.
We got it tacked. This is the end cap. What did you call it?
It's compounding errors.
But hey, I'm gonna teach y'all some Texas tea. All right, so we got the firebox all tacked together. It was pretty similar as far as right here, right?
Yeah, for this was 3 pieces, this was 2 pieces.
So we got a couple tacks we're gonna put in here, and then we still got this outside corner that's kind of overhead, open root. We got the legs tacked on, more or less welded on, at least right to the actual shell. We're starting to get everything together so that by tomorrow we can have everyone have a nice weld party and get some people over here to try out their hand in stick welding. We've seen a lot of MIG welding at camp, and everyone said that they haven't touched a stick welder in ages, right?
Yep.
So we're fitting together this last leg, and then we're gonna lean everything over, put the leg underneath it, and then we have a lot of these other bits and pieces on the ground that we still got to get tacked. And it's likely we're gonna have to, after we get this leg put on, break out that Oxyfuel torch and cut some stuff up. So Chris gave me a task, and that was to cut out these doors. He gave me a zip wheel and said have at her, but a little preheat on the 1/4 inch, get it nice and orange, fire it up. Way better than a freaking cutoff wheel, bro. It's day 2 at Maker Camp, and we're getting to welding on this smoker. Finally, we got most of it tacked up. We gotta have the Ranger running all freaking day. People stopping in, seeing if they have the gall, the gumption to do a little bit of stick welding. It's not for everybody, but I'm glad Jerry showed up to help. He's been welding pipe for 30 years. He can have as much of it as he wants. I'm going to show you a little trick. Of course, everyone heard of the Texas TIG. I usually bust off the flux of a 7018 rod. That's going to be kind of like my little piece of TIG wire. And more or less, it's like adding a backer to it. We're going to weld downhill, and then we're going to push this filler in it. Now, this is the edge of a plate, and this is a thick part of plate. We're going to favor this one, feed into the left, the thin side, and this wire is just going to disappear. We're probably going to end up having 1 or 2 of these rods shoved in here at a time. So I'm just really, there's a little bit of shoving going on with this filler piece. I'm aiming to the right, but I know that that left side will get eaten away pretty good. But this 7018 rod is almost gone because of how much I'm shoving into it because of that gap there. Just trying to fill that void. Not looking for pretty, but I am gonna fill it up. That doesn't look that bad, honestly. Really, I don't even think we gotta grind much as long as we can keep that up. It don't look horrible. It's not a rocket ship, right, Jerry?
Just fill it up. We're manageable.
I need a couple more Jerrys around, man. How you feel about it, Bo?
Feel good, man. I'm having fun.
When was the last time you ran a 6010 rod? Wow. We got the first pass all the way around. Now we're switching over to 7018. We're going to give some people who never even tried stick welding before a quick lesson. Are you ready, man?
Ready.
Let's do it. All right, so what we're going to do, again, fixating on our rod angle here, being that this is kind of like a 45 up, we're going to light up ahead, get close, The big trick to this that I tell everyone is slow and close. If you take nothing away from this, with this 70-18 is slow and close. You go too fast, it gets too skinny. You get too far away, it drops those bombs. Right? So we're gonna light up, get close, and go slow. Ready? Light up, come back. I'm gonna get close, and I'm gonna slowly travel up. Now I'm looking right at the puddle, the sides of the puddle, and the edges of that plate. The edges of the plate are just getting consumed right at the back side of that puddle, and that's how I'm judging my travel speed. I could go slower and get a bigger weld, and I could go faster and get a smaller weld, but I'm trying to fill this whole throat of this fillet weld with just this one pass. And again, the trick to stick welding is going to be maintaining those variables. Again, if you're in and out, your weld's going to look different. If you're fast and slow, the weld's going to look different. All right, if you change your angle, the weld's going to look different. So if you keep all those things the same, your weld will look the same all the way up. Here you go. That's yours now. Don't push in. You got to float it. Don't push so hard. There you go. Maintain the arc length. Slow, steady, slow, steady. Gotta let that sucker fill in. All right, stop. You lit up, and you didn't quite know where you were going, so you came way down here, and that's when I grabbed you and picked you up where we were going, and then you were putting some pressure in that sucker. You were like falling in on it. You have to maintain an arc length. You can't be touching the metal, and you can't be too far away, and that's why it's hard, because you got to maintain this little 1/8 of an inch all the way while this is burning away. That's the trick. You got to maintain that arc length. If this burns away, that machine, the voltage goes up, and it makes it hotter and makes a mess of things. So right in here, you shoved it in, and then you finally got a puddle going, and you were going too fast. See how skinny that is?
Yes.
That's how you'll know if you're going too fast. It's a nice skinny weld. Right? And then we started to slow you down, and then we filled it to the width of that groove that we're trying to do. Now you could make 2 passes instead of the 1 if you don't want to try to carry that much metal.
So David, what was stick welding like for the first time?
I'll tell you, I know where my comfort zone is, and this is something that's going to have to come over time. It's a very interesting craft, but it's not something I'm afraid to take on. And I do believe that within, say, the next 6 months of practicing, my comfort level will be there, and I'll be able to run that bead without making a mess and ruining other people's crafts.
Hey, man. Well, we thank you for trying, man.
I'm just going to give it to you. All right? So now what I want you to do, let's come over here. Let's come on this side and put your shoulder up on that tube. Yeah, just like that. Nice and comfy, okay? You ready? Now we're going to tap it, light up, get a puddle going. That's the weld puddle, and then now we can move it. Go slow. This is how slow we got to go. Slow and close. Closer, slow, closer, closer, closer. See what happens whenever you get, it burns so far away that it just stops.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have any contact to the metal anymore. Here, take another rod. You got the close part now, just slow down, slow down, slow down, closer, slow down, closer. Slow down. We're still going way too fast. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're putting just the tiniest little stringer bead in there. Now if that's what you're looking for, sometimes that's all you need. But for what we're doing, we want to try to fill in that fillet weld section. Now I'll show you what I mean by the travel speed being too much. When you don't slow down and you go too quick, you can see how the weld doesn't want to always hit both plates.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down because you're not giving it time to fill in that spot. So it's a lot slower that we needed to go. It's fine, like right here, you got a nice little stringer bead and it grabbed both. It's in the right spot, but sometimes we're down, sometimes we're up. That has to do with a little bit of the angle, and you can get away with a little angle problems as long as you slow down.
So Eileen, have you ever stick welded before?
Just today.
What did you think?
I think there's a big learning curve. I think it was super fun. I did the TIG earlier today, and I think I like this better. But yeah, it's a process.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Thank you guys. It was great.
Good? Can you lift this up? All right, now you can see your pretty face. Bend a little bend in the knee. Scoot your butt back a little bit so we can get the angle right on that rod. We want that rod to be right here, not pointing to the left, not pointing to the right, but right in the center of that weld. And again, we'll strike up here, come up, down, 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 like that. Ready?
Yeah.
Hit it.
Just touch it?
Yeah, just touch it. All right, now pull it right. Down. You're going too far down. We want to get a little bit closer and not so far down. We want to make little whips. Get closer. Why are you going up? Where you going? Where you going? Get closer. All right, now stop. One thing, whenever it gets so far back, you really can't see what's happening outside of all that violence. You have to, if you get closer, it actually makes that calm down a lot more. You're about here, we need to be there. And if that, you get so far back, it makes it so violent, so hot that we put holes in metal. Not a problem, because everything can be fixed with a grinder and a little bit more welding.
Nice. So Austin, you tried stick welding. Was that your first time welding?
It was, yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was pretty tough. It takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of patience.
What was the hardest part about welding?
The hardest part was not panicking when my rod got stuck to the metal and I blew a hole in it. That was, yeah, that was tough.
Is it something that you could see yourself doing again?
It's something I could see myself hiring someone to do, yeah.
Well, thank you, sir.
Of course.
If it doesn't look like it, I'm a bit whooped. I got an arc burn all over my face. We had a great time here at Maker Camp building this offset smoker. I say built it. We still haven't finished it. We did not have time to put the hinges on. We did not have the time to finish the doors, put the casters on, but we did have the time to make a lot of people's days by teaching them how to stick weld. So we really appreciate Maker Camp and them letting us come out and do the things that we do. I'll let Chris from Green Money Fab, I'll let this be his burden now. And we're gonna leave it here in New York and we're gonna take off back to Houston. We'll see you on the next weld, y'all.
We're going to draw the first name. Okay, this is for the welding room. Hunter Lock. Only one at the top. Richard Greenwald. Has anybody seen this lady with Richard Greenwald? She says it's her husband. Craig Mosher. Tim Nees. Tim Nees, a new welding house. This is for the welder right here. Shake them up good, shake them up good. Come on. Three shake it up. Okay, that's it. The man says that's it.
Yeah, you won. No way. Yes.
Congratulations on the new Tacking welder. Hey, anybody that won the total war? Oh, this is good. Can everybody do it?